Oh God.
Привет, это мой друг Эндрю, это наш преподаватель Enjoy Club. И что здорово, что он не знает русского языка, поэтому все, что мы говорим по-русски, он не понимает, так немножко. Вот. И я хочу сегодня провести такую встречу, такую беседу вместе. У меня есть интересующие вопросы, вот. Так что я перехожу на английский из уважения к нашему другу. Hi, Andrew. Listen, I've just told you that I participated in reality show. Yes, and there was yeah. Well, it's so funny, you know.
I think the reality shows on TV is cheap television, if you pardon it.
Well, you know, I will tell you, there were ex-prisoners, and the idea of the show was to make them real gentlemen. So, and they.
So where did you come in?
Well, actually, you see, my idea. Well, I had to teach them English,
I see.
so they could use it. They were ex-convicts and with lots of tattoos, you know, real. And I actually wanted to meet them first, and they said, "No, you don't understand. This is a reality show. So you just go onto the stage, and you're meeting them, and we record that." So I had no chance to prepare. I was scared a bit, you know, a lot.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah. Well, so and that explains that when it's real, then you know, you don't pretend, you are yourself.
Yeah.
So my real question is, I was always wondering how to learn reading English, because just imagine the word health.
Health.
How do children, British children, learn that it's when it's written HEALTH, it's health. If you get rid of TH, it becomes heal.
Yeah.
How do they know it? Because we read transcription, we understand these letters are pronounced this way. But how can you explain the same letters can be pronounced? Nobody knows how.
I see. Right. It's very difficult actually. It can be down to the particle before. It can be down to the fact that we are not just taught naturally that, you know, if the letter E or A, the vowel E or A can be elongated in each word, that we go, you know, health, simple, straightforward, very.
Okay, health. Let me stay with health. Okay, we know the word health. What if you exchange H with R? It becomes real.
If you
But-
take the TH off.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's real. Real.
Yeah.
It's not even heal. It's real. But if you place these EA sound letters into measure, it's already air.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it? And if you place early, it's If I say to my students that, guys, it's impossible to learn to read English, is it true?
No, it's not impossible to read English. No.
To learn to read. Well, of course you can read it, but how do you know how it is pronounced?
With an education, you just start at the beginning, and as you go through it, as your level rises, you will understand. Take the word read. It's also read, because
Yes.
it's also it's I am reading a book. I have read a book, and
But-
they all spelt exactly the same.
Yeah, but what I mean is that someone has to tell you that. I mean, if you're alone and if you face a new word in your life and you have no idea how to read it, you have to listen to somebody else to tell you that. So you can't
Yeah,
really.
yeah. You can't do it on your own. No, it's through the education system. You know, you're talking to a guy that's 62. I can't remember when, you know, how we actually learned how to speak, but it was just a case of testing and practice, which is the same with everything. You know, and eventually you will work out that real heal and health. Yeah, okay. You've got this EA, two of the most important. Well, E is the vowel that is used more than any other letter in the English language, you know, and E and A, I and E, for example, that those three vowels are the real three letters that we use.
Okay, and so
it's very difficult to explain this. This is very hard.
If you think about English in general, just from your native speaker's point of view, what is most important in speaking English? Because let me give you like multiple choice answers. Mm-hmm. Is it grammar? Is it vocabulary? Or is it just natural confidence? It's not about language. If a person is really sure of himself or herself, he or she can do well no matter what language.
Yeah, confidence is a massive part of it. But you know, if you, I would say it's vocabulary as much as more than grammar. You know, a lot of people here in the Ukraine, I've noticed at schools, etc., grammar seems to be very, very important. Now, if you were in, say, London, because everybody knows London is in England, yeah, and you said to an English person, where Buckingham Palace, instead of where is Buckingham Palace, nobody's going to say, your grammar's not very good, is it? You know, nobody's going to say that to you. They're just going to say it's down there and turn left or something, or wherever it is. They're just going to direct you to it. You know, no, in the street, nobody's going to criticise your grammar. If you're going into a business meeting, maybe your grammar needs to be that bit hot, but you know, as you improve your vocabulary, the grammar comes in my opinion. People think that the grammar creates the vocabulary. I think that the vocabulary creates the grammar.
That's interesting point. I've read a phrase that, well, just it's a bit in different direction, but I like this phrase, that a sentence is a group of words that makes common sense. You know, because sometimes you can have all the words which you understand. You know, there is funny example when a person reads a sentence, we face problems every day, and he couldn't understand, like, we face, what do you mean we face? Like, well, face is a verb, it's an action.
Yeah.
You know, but
we come up against, yeah, this is why in English, again, phrasal verbs and idioms are very, very important part of English, right? Because you've got the concrete and you've got the metaphorical.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So one of the biggest, one of the easiest examples is talking about a flood. Now, you know, if you get too much rain and the rivers can come up and cover the lowland, and we call that a flood.
Yes, that's just let me interrupt you with the word flood. Double O could be read a door, room, and flood.
Yeah.
You know?
Again, you have this.
Like...
Again, you have this pronunciation, which you, as I say, from my point of view, going to school at 5 years old and going through school, pronunciation was sort of just generally taught to us. It's not learning a foreign language and having to learn the parents.
So I'm sorry if I interrupted you with the flood and you were talking about...
Yeah, that's okay. Well, you see, so we know that in reality, and the actual word flood means water on the land, right? But we can also use it metaphorically. For instance, the crowd flooded onto the pitch in a football game, or the crowd flooded onto the court for a basketball game, which means that a mass of people ran onto it. And having put that in your mind, you know the concrete part of it, so therefore you can imagine people spreading across the football pitch.
Just a second, let me... Обратите внимание, мы сейчас говорим про слово flood, которое обозначает потоп. Вот. И по сути фраза, которая people flooded onto the stadium, for example, будет обозначать они влились. По сути, когда слово потоп обозначает не конкретно воду, а это некая метаморфоза, которую используют в данном случае. По сути, у нас то же самое по-русски. Ну, вот так в английском языке иногда слова подразумевают не те значения, которые мы знаем, а могут совершенно обозначать другое. То же самое, как я упоминал в своей речи слово face, которое обозначает не только лицо, но и сталкиваться, то есть лицезреть. Вот такая вот история. Давайте пока прекратим, чтобы мы не заснули, и очень много неизвестных слов. И если что-то было непонятно, то пишите в комментариях и присоединяйтесь, и будем вместе учить язык. И будем приглашать Эндрю на наши встречи. Пока.